Hello everyone. The question here says the prominent phase in the life cycle of bryophyte is option given are gametophyte, sporophyte, seta and sporangium. Now let's try to understand this life cycle of bryophyte with a diagram. Now children, as we all know that the main plant body of bryophyte is leafy in nature. So let's say this is the main plant body of bryophyte. Okay. So on one of the branches, you will find the male sex organ growing. And on the another branch, on the same plant, you will find that there is a flask-shaped structure, which is the female sex organ of the plant. So this male sex organ is known as the antheridium, which will produce the gamete known as antherozoids. These are the male gametes, okay? And the female structure here, which is flask-shaped, will be known as archegonium, which will produce the female gamete called egg, okay? Now, you see, as I said that these are leafy structure, they are green in color, they are photosynthetic, okay? Since they are photosynthetic, they are able to make their own food and hence they are independent, which means that they are not dependent for food on anything else, they can produce their own food, so they are independent. Now, you see here, the male sex organs and the female sex organs are on the same plant. They can be on the different plants also, but we have taken the example of a monoecious plant, which is having both male and female on the same plant. So here what happens is the male sex organ which is present there will start to produce the gametes inside it. Okay. Now these gametes, which are known as the antherozoids, will remain inside the male body, and the archegonium will produce the egg, and this egg will also remain inside the flask-shaped body like this. It will remain there and it will remain for a long time. Now you see, when I say that this is the structure of bryophyte, children, remember that this bryophyte is haploid. Okay. So this entire structure that we have drawn here is all haploid. This is all haploid. Okay. Now this haploid structure, which remains there for a long time and the gametes keep on being produced inside, is known as gametophyte. Okay, this entire structure is known as the gametophyte, which remains for a long time. Now when favorable condition come, okay, now let's say a favorable condition has come. Now favorable condition for what? The favorable condition for the fusion of gametes. So one of the favorable condition would be the rain, right? So when the rain falls, what happens is, as the rain falls, let's say the raindrops are falling onto it, it compels the gametes present inside to burst out, and then it falls onto the female sex organ where egg is present. So once this falls with this antherozoid, once it falls on the archegonium and it combines with the egg, zygote is produced, right? Now this zygote is produced as a result of fusion of male gamete, which is N, and the female gamete, which is also N, right? So when they combine together to form the zygote, they form the structure 2N, okay? So what happens is, this zygote starts to undergo mitosis. Here you see the production of the gamete, which is the antherozoid, and the egg has taken place also by mitosis. Since I said that this entire structure is haploid, and if meiosis will take place, which is a reductional division, then obviously we will get N by 2 chromosome, which is obviously not possible. So that is why equational division has to take place, hence forming the gametes, right? So here mitosis takes place, and in the zygote also the mitosis starts to take place, which is the growth of the new, you can say, a new plant. So what would happen is that here the fusion of gametes has taken place, and from here the new structure starts to develop, and this new structure develops, which is known as the sporophyte. Okay, now this sporophyte is a short-lived structure, and this sporophyte that has been grown here is dependent on the gametophyte. So you see here, the main plant body, which was the gametophyte, is a long living thing, and it's the most prominent one, because in the life cycle of the bryophytes, the gametophyte have a longer lifespan, and they are independent, they continue to produce their own food, but for a very short time this sporophyte comes. Okay, now so that is why the answer here would be gametophyte. The prominent phase in the life cycle of bryophyte is gametophyte. So what are these sporophyte? As I said, that the structure that has just developed is the sporophyte here. The seta is this filament that we are talking about. This is the seta, and the sporangium is this, again, this entire structure which will produce the spores. So all these three options are dependent on gametophyte only, which is the prominent one. Hence the answer would be gametophyte. Thank you.